Hi, welcome to the show. This is our first episode. What we do is we look at the news, we read some articles together, and we can have some discussions about what you think it means. Um, I want to say hello to my mom. Hi, Mom. And let's go ahead and get into the news. Let's see here. First story we have this evening, Monday, February 21st. We've got indicted Austin officer says Soros-funded DA is targeting the police. This has nothing to do with justice. Let's see what's going on here. Indictments of 19 Austin police officers were politically motivated. Cop and political candidate says. All right, so what we're looking at is an Austin police officer said that indictments brought against him and 18 other officers over their conduct during the George Floyd protests are politically motivated and have nothing to do with justice. A Texas grand jury indicted 19 Austin police officers Thursday on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon during the May 2020 protests. Also on Thursday, the city council approved a $10 million settlement for two of the protesters who suffered head injuries from beanbag rounds fired by the police during the riots. Okay. Well, this has nothing to do with justice, has nothing to do with wrongdoing. Justice Berry, one of the indicted officers and a Republican candidate for the Texas House of Representatives, told Fox News, this simply about politics and political agenda that has taken place with these radical liberal district attorneys. All right, Berry stressed that he and the other officers acted lawfully in their attempt to quell the violent riots. He said Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza was using indictments as a tactic to strip local law enforcement of their ability to uphold the law. Blah, 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 politics, law. Let's see what's going on. Further down. Looks like Austin agreed to pay $8 million to Justin Howell, who, according to family members, suffered from a cracked skull and brain damage after police hit him with a beanbag round during the protests. Another $2 million will go to Anthony Evans, whose jaw was fractured by a beanbag round. We were responding to a riot, Berry told Fox News. People were throwing Molotov cocktails at us, frozen water bottles, bottles filled with urine, bottles full of gasoline, and they were engaging in criminal activity by obstructing the passage road that goes to the main hospital. Our actions were not unlawful by any means at all, he continued. Berry was charged with aggravated assault by a public servant, a first-degree felony which can carry up to a life sentence in prison. Let's think about that for a minute. Now you're going to put this guy's in prison for using non-lethal beanbags for the rest of their lives during a riot. I don't know what to think about this. The 19 indictments are the highest number of charges brought on officers in a single U.S. police department over tactics during the 2020 protests. Berry said the move was part of a larger political agenda to strip police of their ability to uphold the law and push soft-on-crime policies. Look at our homicide rates, Berry said. They're through the roof right now. Look anywhere George Soros has planted one of his DAs in there. It's gone to chaos and destruction. George Soros contributed $652,000 to the Texas Justice and Public Safety PAC in the months leading up to the 2020 Travis County DA election, according to campaign finance records. That same PAC spent almost $1 million on digital and mail advertisements to help Garza's campaign. Okay, all right, so guys getting a little funding, a little George Soros action. That looks like they're not going to be able to stop the riots next time. Okay. Next, we have Bernie Madoff's sister and her husband found dead in an apparent murder-suicide. All right, let's check that out here. Boynton Beach, Florida. Let's just figure that out. Okay, Boynton Beach, Florida. Sandra Weiner, the 87-year-old sister of disgraced financier Bernie Madoff, was found dead Thursday with her 90-year-old husband, Marvin, in what investigators say is an apparent murder-suicide. So is this guy, she's Sandra Weiner. Is he Marvin Weiner? I'm not sure. Liberty, go lay down. All right. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a 911 call Thursday afternoon and found the couple dead, both with a gunshot wound, inside their suburban Boynton Beach home. The medical examiner's office will determine the cause of death. Detectives with the Violent Crime Division investigated the scene. That's pretty interesting. All right, let's see what else is going on. Ooh, looks like New York State Trooper sues Cuomo over alleged harassment. Let's find out what this is about. All right, we're going to look down here. We're going to see a New York State trooper who alleges that former Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed her on Thursday filed suit against him. The New York State Police and Cuomo's former aide Melissa DeRosa of NBC News reports. All right, referred to as Trooper Number 1 in the case, she claims that Cuomo touched her and spoke to her inappropriately, including one instance where he allegedly ran his finger, quote, his finger down the center of my back of my spine. Okay, let's try this again. Quote, his finger down the center of my back of my spine. Basically, from the top of my neck. Basically, midway down with his pointer finger, and just said, hey, you, according to NBC. That's a horrible quote. I would have said something like, oh, he ran his finger all the way down my back. Cuomo resigned last year after a report from the state attorney general, Letitia James, found he had sexually harassed multiple women, including some in his office, along with using his physical proximity to Trooper Number 1 to touch her inappropriately. Cuomo was accused of commenting on the woman's appearance and steering all of their conversations towards sex. Well, who hasn't been there, huh? All right. He allegedly made inappropriate comments to the woman, such as requesting that she find him a girlfriend who could, quote, handle pain. The trooper says she's experiencing severe mental anguish and emotional distress as a result of the incidents and is seeking damages. What do state troopers respond to usually? I mean, do they see traffic accidents, drunk driving, robbery, homicide? But but this gave her severe mental anguish and emotional distress. Okay, well, you guys could comment below and we'll find out what she's really stressed out about. He shouldn't have touched her. That is wrong. He shouldn't, steer all of his comments towards sex and finding someone who enjoys pain. Okay, he shouldn't have done that. But I think a police officer should be a little, how do you say, tougher than that, because what does it say? Severe mental anguish? Okay. All right, let's go to the next story. What we have is the Vice President, Kamala Harris. I have some kind of a speech impediment sometimes. She says that the world is at a decisive moment in history. Let's find out what she's talking about here. Vice President Kamala Harris says the world has arrived at a decisive moment in history as the Biden administration warns that a Russian invasion of Ukraine in the coming days is highly likely. Yep. Okay. In Munich, Vice President Kamala Harris said Saturday that the world has arrived at a decisive moment in history as the Biden administration warns a Russian invasion of Ukraine in the coming days is highly likely. During a meeting with Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, Harris vowed that the U.S. was committed to Ukraine's sovereignty. Ukraine's sovereignty. She doesn't want anybody illegally crossing the border, I guess. So, we'll go to the next story. What do we got here? Oh, French modeling agent Jean-Luc Bernal found dead in his prison cell. Who in the heck is Jean-Luc Bernal? Let's find out let's find out who this dude is, okay? Let's see here. He's dead in his prison cell, blah, blah, blah. You know I can't play the video. Okay. Oops. Okay, French modeling agent Jean-Luc Bernal, a longtime associate of disgraced financiers Jeffrey Epstein, has been found dead in his prison cell, a spokesman for the Paris prosecutor's office said. Okay, Bernal was found alone, hanging with bed sheets in his jail cell at the Santé prison in the French capital around 1:30 a.m. local time Saturday. I thought they put him in a place that had paper bed sheets. I'm sure the cameras were working properly, weren't they? I mean, there's no way that the cameras weren't working. There's no way. Let's see here. Let's see. He was accused of rape by several former top models, which he denied. The 75-year-old was put under formal investigation in France in late June of 2021 for the rape of a minor over 15. The prosecutor's office confirmed. Bernal was arrested at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport in December 2020 on counts of rape and sexual assault. Rape and sexual assault on a minor under 15, rape and sexual assault on a minor over 15, sexual harassment, criminal associations, and human trafficking, excuse me, to the detriment of minor victims for the purposes of sexual exploitation. He was released under judicial supervision for a few days in November of 2021 before being returned to prison by the decision of the Paris Court of Appeals. He appealed the decision as the prosecution prepared its case. Bernal's arrest was part of a probe launched in 2019 by French prosecutors targeting acts of sexual nature likely to have been committed by Jeffrey Epstein and possible accomplices, based on checks and cross-checks carried out on information provided to the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office and exchanges with the U.S. authorities. Epstein was found dead in his prison cell in the United States on August 10th, 2019. He was awaiting trial at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan after pleading not guilty to federal charges accusing him of operating a sex trafficking ring from 2002 to 2005 at his Manhattan mansion and his Palm Beach estate, allegedly paying girls as young as 14 for sex. A medical examiner ruled his death was suicide by hanging. All right. What else do we got here? Oh, Canadian police arrest over 100 people in the trucker protest. Let's see here. Canadian police swooped in on Saturday with stun grenades, smashing truck windows to clear the Freedom Convoy demonstrations in the capital. Just one day after 100 protesters were arrested in a bid to quash the 3-week blockade over the COVID-19 restrictions. Smashing the truck's windows. Huh. That doesn't sound good, does it, guys? Is he making a snowman? Snow angel? Is he knocked out? That doesn't say. I don't know. A man lies in the snow in front of police officers. Well, we don't know the story of that. And they're breaking into trucks and RVs. What's going on here? All right. It's horrific. A dark moment in Canadian history, said Dagny Paulak, a spokeswoman for the truckers. Said in a text message on Saturday to the New York Times, "Never in my life would I have believed anyone if they told me that our own Prime Minister would refuse dialogue and choose violence against peaceful protesters instead." Oh, Justin Trudeau, you know he doesn't ever meet with protesters, you guys. You guys know that just because you have a protest doesn't mean Justin's going to show up, get on his knees, and do whatever you guys want. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there he is. Well, what do you know? Justin Trudeau, good old Justin Trudeau, takes a knee at the Black Lives Matter demonstration on Parliament Hill. That was June 6th of 2020. Look at him there. Aw, look at his pretty hair. He looks so sad. So he runs and hides from Canadian truckers doing a peaceful protest. But when you're smashing stuff up, burning everything on fire, demanding death to all police, that's good, huh? Okay. All right. Let's see here. Trudeau's act of solidarity comes after he declined to comment earlier in the day about whether he would be attending the protest. Still, he arrived at Parliament Hill, home to Canada's Parliament, wearing a black cloth mask Friday afternoon and surrounded by security guards, according to CNN affiliate CTV News. Trudeau did not speak at the event, though he clapped and nodded along with some of the speakers, including a moment when the speaker asserted there is no middle ground on racism. Another point, he yelled, "Amen," along with the other protesters after a speaker discussed promoting love and justice. Well, that's good. Love and justice, that's great. Promote that. That's fine. Excuse me, but let's see here. Okay, so smashing truck windows and then getting on your knee. All right, well, let's see what else is going on. The Guam Daily Post reports Canada's capital is secured and cleaned up. Let's see what that means. All right. Liberty, stop that. My dogs. All right, Canadian police on Sunday secured the downtown core of the capital with fencing as city workers cleaned up trash and snowplows cleared streets after 2 days of tense standoffs and 191 arrests after a 3-week occupation of Ottawa. Demonstrators had to use hundreds of trucks and vehicles to block the city center since January 28th, prompting Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, pretty boy, to invoke the rarely used emergency powers. 76 vehicles have also been towed, says the police. All right, there you go. What else do we got today? Ooh, Bill Gates. Now remember, he's not a doctor, but we're supposed to listen to his medical advice. Because, you know, Bill Gates. Okay. Let's see here. He makes a surprising comment. Bill Gates, Omicron did a better job building immunity than the COVID-19 vaccines. Billionaire Bill Gates said the Omicron variant moved faster than COVID-19 vaccinations by creating a high level of natural immunity. While speaking at the Munich Security Conference, Gates, who has helped fund the development and distribution of COVID-19 vaccine, oh, isn't that nice of him? He's got an agenda maybe, huh? Let's see what's going on. Here's his quote, and it starts off with the word sadly. That's weird. Sadly, comma, the virus itself, particularly the variant called Omicron, is a type of vaccine. That is, it creates both B-cell and T-cell immunity. And it's done a better job getting out to the world population than we have with vaccines. The Microsoft co-founder said, that means the chance of severe disease, which is mainly associated with being elderly and having obesity or diabetes, those risks are now dramatically reduced because of that infection exposure. Gates, who is not a medical doctor, noted that the vaccine efforts moved too slowly for his liking. Well, let me go back up here again and make sure what I just said is true here. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what the philanthropist vaccine giver had to say in 2010 about vaccines.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
All right, today, good news. All right, Truth Social Network came out. I couldn't, apparently it's under some kind of too many people are trying to get on it. Too many people are trying to stop it from starting. But Truth Social, go ahead and go to your app store, download it, and be patient. It's going to be an alternative to Twitter, Facebook, uncensored. So it came out. My account did not come online yet. It's coming soon. But I don't know if you're going to call it a trumpet instead of a tweet, but I would call it a trumpet. Tweet trumpeted. Get ready. Your favorite president will see you soon. Okay. All right. Devin Nunes, the former Republican congressman who quit to become the CEO of Trump's media company, said last week, Truth Social expects to be fully operational by the end of March, when anyone could get on the platform within the United States at any time. So that is good news that's coming. All right, what else do we got going on in the news? Ooh, this day in history. Well, let's see what happened. Who's that? Malcolm X, I guess. That is, I guess. Let's see what he says. Oh. On this day, excuse me. Still getting over a little something, something. Maybe the Omicrons, who knows. All right, February 21st, 1965, in New York City, Malcolm X, an African-American nationalist and religious leader, is assassinated while addressing his organization of Afro-American Unity in the Audubon Ballroom in Washington Heights. He was 39. Well, what else happened this day in history? That's not what this day in history is really supposed to be about. But sometimes sad things happen in history and people pass away and are assassinated or whatever. All right, let's see what happened today. Today in history. Born on February 22nd. Let's see who all was born on February 22nd. 1403. Charles VII, King of France. Let's see, what else? George Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Forces during the American Revolution and the first U.S. President, was born today. That's a good day. Let's see. No. That doesn't look so good. Birthdays. I don't know. I don't recognize any of those birthdays. Let's go back over here real quick. 1349. Jews were expelled from Zurich, Switzerland in 1349. Okay. I guess they got kicked out of Switzerland. In 1613, Mikhail Romanov is elected the Tsar of Russia. What happened in 1797? The last invasion of Britain takes place when some 1,400 Frenchmen land at Fishguard in Wales. Nothing more terrifying than 1,400 Frenchmen landing in your Fishguard in Wales. 1819, Spain signs a treaty with the United States, ceding eastern Florida. Well, you get your ass whooped, you're going to lose a little piece of Florida, so mess around and find out, huh? All right. 1825, Russia and Britain established the Alaska-Canada boundary. Russia taking good care of Alaska so we can buy it later. All right. 1862, Jefferson Davis is inaugurated as the President of the Confederacy in Richmond, Virginia, for the second time. What else happened? Nathan Bedford Forrest's brother Jeffrey is killed in Okolona, Mississippi. 1865, federal troops capture Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's see, 1879, Frank Winford Woolworth's Nothing Over 5 Cent shop opens in Utica, New York. It is the first chain store ever. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess it was called Woolworth's. All right, 1902, a fist fight breaks out in the Senate. Wow. Senator Benjamin Tillman suffers a bloody nose for accusing Senator John McLaurin of bias on the Philippine tariff issue. Like he would have bias in the Philippine tariff issue. You mess around, you find out, you get a bloody nose. He didn't have any bias, or he did, I don't know. Who knows? It was 1902. All right, let's see, 1909. The Great White Fleet returns to Norfolk, Virginia from an around-the-world show of naval power. The Great White Fleet. All right. Canadian Parliament votes in 1911 to preserve the Union with the British Empire. 1920, the American Relief Administration appeals to the public to pressure Congress to aid starving European cities. And so it begins. In 1924, Columbia University declares radio education a success. Okay. 1926, Pope Pius rejects Mussolini's offer of aid to the Vatican. Well, Mussolini, I guess the Pope didn't want your help. Let's see, in 1932, Adolf Hitler is the Nazi Party candidate for the presidential elections in Germany. Okay, all right. In 1935, all plane fights. Let's go back to that. 1932, Adolf Hitler is the Nazi Party candidate for the presidential elections in Germany. Okay, so that's when that started. 1935, all plane flights over the White House are barred because they are disturbing President Roosevelt's sleep. His little night-night dreams. Not because you could drop a bomb or crash into it, but because it was waking him up. Okay, all right. 1942, President Franklin Roosevelt orders General Douglas MacArthur to leave the Philippines. But didn't he say that? I shall return or something like that. I don't know. He said something. 1951, the Atomic Energy Commission discloses information about the first atom-powered airplane. Nuclear airplane, I guess. 1951. I guess it wasn't a very good thing. It didn't take off, so to speak. All right, 1952, French forces evacuate Hoa Binh in Indochina. Wait a minute, isn't that Vietnam? I don't know. Okay, 1954, the United States to install 60 Thor nuclear missiles in Britain. 62, a Soviet bid for the new Geneva arms turned down by the U.S. 63, Moscow warns that a U.S. attack on Cuba would mean war. Oh, what is it good for? All right, 67, Operation Junction City, Vietnam becomes, Operation Junction City becomes the largest U.S. operation in Vietnam. 1970, Attila the Hun invades Italy, laying siege to the city of what after defeating the Roman force? I don't think that's right. Okay, 1970, Attila the Hun. What the hell? Let's check this out. Alright. Okay, looks like we're talking about AD 376. The Roman Empire was being threatened by swarms. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Attila the Hun was invading Italy in 1970, but I don't know. I didn't maybe study history too good. Maybe I didn't study history too good, alright? Maybe I'm not too good at the history. Alright, 1984, Britain and the U.S. send warships to the Persian Gulf, following an Iranian offensive against Iraq. Remember? Remember when Iraq was the good guys? Oh, I remember. Let's see, what all... That's it? That's it. It looks like that wraps up my first episode.
You know, there's some memories that you would just love
Hey.
be ready.
All right. We're going to wrap this show up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for joining me. Please share, like, and subscribe. I know why everybody begs for the subscriptions and the shares and the likes. And now I'm also begging for the shares, the likes, and subscribes. Until tomorrow, I'll see you guys tomorrow for more news.